UFC Fight Night live this Saturday, T-Mobile Arena in Kansas City, Missouri. Got Machado Garry versus Carlos Prates. Possible welterweight title bout here.
What it looks like, man.
All right. Well, welcome to Deep Water Picks. Let's dive in. Kicking off this card, we got Chelsea Chandler versus Jocelyn Edwards. I got Jocelyn Edwards. She's a heavy favorite, minus 320. Haven't really watched anything on it. If anything, I would take the over. 65% of women's MMA fights go over, go to the distance. So I think that's me.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of hugging in 3 rounds. I'm slamming the favorite here. That's all I can really say. I don't have too much information on fighters, so do your own research on this one. But
I'm going over. Just pick over. 2.5 rounds over. Next fight in the featherweight division, we got Roberto Romero versus Timmy Columba. Roberto Romero, I think he's going to win this fight. He's a pretty typical Mexican fighter, kind of a blitzing attack. He gets hit a lot, but he's got a real tough chin. He's got power to throw at you. Lost the fight to David Onama. David Onama's a pretty good fighter, so it was a UD. I felt like it was pretty close. Timmy Columba, he's a speedy guy, relies on speed, probably a little too much. I think he's a little chinny. He got dropped by Lucas Almeida pretty quickly in the first round. Ended up coming back, but he still lost a unanimous decision. So I'm taking Roberto Romero probably by UD.
I'm going to do the same thing, just based solely on I can't put money on the dude named Timmy Columba. Sounds like, I don't know, fucking Latin dance. I don't know. I just can't. I can't get behind that. Regardless of who these fighters actually are, I'm going with Romero on this one.
Next fight, another chick fight, Jacqueline Amarin versus Polyana Viana. I'm going to go with Jacqueline here. She's a huge favorite. Probably not much value on picking her in the money line. So I guess you'd have to predict the outcome. Either way, better odds. And what probably will happen is just that deal.
Yeah, when I see a lot of losses on chicks, I guess anyone, but in specific, like when you're picking out a lower card chick fight, and I see a ton of losses. I think the only chick that's ever overcome something like that was like Pennington. Remember that? You know, Raquel Pennington. Yeah, she's like 13-11.
I think most chicks are like 13. They just trade wins and losses.
I think, at that point, I mean, maybe she's got a lot more experience from what it seems like. But, 9-1, heavy favorite, big fight. Just like that. So I'm taking Amarin as well.
Next up in the bantamweight division, we got Malcolm Wellmaker versus Cameron Siam. Malcolm Wellmaker coming off a Dana White Contender Series victory, knockout. Big knockout. He's got big power. We just haven't seen much of him. Cameron Siam, though, he's kind of a blitzing fighter, speedy fighter, real active in the grappling. Get him down. He's usually winning scrambles because he just does not stop moving. It's really hard to hold him down. Does have a KO loss on his record against Peyton Talbot, who was a surging fighter, kind of got thrown check there, but he just ate too many shots. But he did return some shots. I like Cameron Siam in this fight. I just think if it gets out of the first round, he'll take over. But there is a chance Wellmaker can knock him out in the first round. But I'm still going to go with Cameron Siam on this.
Yeah, I mean, we saw he kind of struggled with power against Talbot. So, I mean, I think he was really impressive, that Talbot fight, even though he lost. The fact that he was able to hang around that long.
Yeah, he took some shots.
Yeah. And, he was able to stick it out. He did end up losing, obviously, by TKO, but he was impressive in that fight up until he lost. So we don't really know anything about Wellmaker, and I think Simon is impressive enough to me to take him in this fight just on a fighter's debut. It's a different beast in there, so I think that might play something into it. But it's a 50-50 really for me, but I'm going Simon.
Next up, another bantamweight fight between Damon Blackshear and Alain Haley. I'm going Blackshear on this. He's got really good kickboxing, really solid striking. Alain Haley is just a smaller guy. From what I've seen, he struggled with distance control as far as blitzing in and staying in the pocket, exchanging blows. I think Damian Blackshear is going to keep him away with leg kicks and probably use that control to force him to the ground and get a sub in the second round. Blackshear is coming off back-to-back subs. Usually that's from keeping distance, laying shots, somebody taking a bad shot on him, and him capitalizing on it. I see him getting his third in a row.
My bad. You're good. You good. Go.
I see him getting his third sub in a row here on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going with Blackshear on this one. Just like from a physical matchup perspective, Damon Blackshear's got a pretty serious height and reach advantage.
5-inch height. I mean,
yeah.
5 inches is big.
Yeah, that's huge. If you're asking. Haley isn't like one of those both build bodies where he's like short as shit. Has long ass arms, like fucking RoboCop, like extendo gadget arms. He's gonna have a reach advantage, and I just think the distance control is gonna be too much for him. I haven't watched too much of him, to be honest. I've seen Damon Blackshear. I think he's a pretty well-regarded prospect as far as overall in UFC goes. Not like a contender or anything like that, but he has some skills, and I just don't think Haley's going to be able to overcome that. So I'm going to go with Blackshear on this one. That's okay. Respect.
Coming up in the featherweight division, we got Chris Gutierrez versus John Castaneda. Listen, we got two featherweights that are going to leg kick each other for 15 minutes.
Holy fuck.
Sign me up. I see this fight playing out. The other thing is Gutierrez, I think he has a weak guard. He relies on his speed to get out of shots. That can work for you, or it can go really bad. I'm going to take the first underdog on this card. I'm going to take John Castaneda. I think that loose guard is going to play it back here, and Gutierrez is going to lose in a unanimous decision, just give up too many shots, trying to rely on that speed.
Okay. I think I'm going to go the same way. I'm going to go with John Castaneda. He's got the reverse of Haley going on. He's having multiple going on. He's 4 inches shorter than Chris Gutierrez, but he's got longer. He's got longer reach. Yeah. It's the ultimate cheat code. So he could be just unhittable while he can easily fucking strike at you from distance. So I'm gonna go with that. I don't really know too much about these two guys. Just based on that alone, I'm gonna go with Castaneda.
Next fight in the lightweight division, we got Evan Elder versus Gage Young. Gage Young coming in off a loss on Dana White's Contender Series.
Okay.
I was unable to find that fight. He must have been impressive to coming on a loss. So he's facing Evan Elder, and I think this is an easy slam for Evan Elder. He's got power. He has a really good jab. He has really sharp boxing. I haven't seen much from Gage Young, but I'm just going to go with the more skilled fighter and just take Evan Elder on that.
I mean, if this tells you anything on here, everybody else has color photos on the ESPN website except for Gage Young. He just has a great profile photo here, so it must not really give that much of a shit about this guy.
And when Dana doesn't give a shit about you, he's throwing in the fix for Evan Elder, obviously.
You're going back to Cage 4
Evan Elder by UD. Next up in the bantamweight division, we got the ass fight of the night. These guys are 2-6 combined, their last 8. Matt Schnell versus Jimmy Flick. Looking at the tape, both these guys, they're probably just going to stand and bang. They're going to stand and punch each other, but I don't see anyone putting either one out. I'm going to go with Matt Schnell. UD, just based on higher output. I don't see either of these guys. Nothing's really jumping out that they're going to come in and finish the fight and put on a show. They're just going to stand and punch each other.
I feel like the fights I've watched Jimmy Flick in, I've been rooting for him. And like he's just been completely outclassed in every fight that I've watched him. Now, I haven't watched like every single fight he's had, but I feel like he's going to get it done. Like I feel like he's an even water here tonight. I feel like
he's going to take Matt Schnell to deep water.
He is. He is. Let the fight ground, man. I'm going Jimmy Flick.
All right.
Second.
Next up in the middleweight division, we got a matchup between Ikram Aliskerov versus Andre Muniz. Number one, Andre Muniz was TKO'd by Paul Craig.
Yeah. Take that for what it is. You know, I mean, some of the greats have been KO'd by Paul Craig, TKO'd by Paul Craig, Jamal Hill, one of the best light heavyweight fighters in all time.
Paul Craig was the craziest stand-up fighter we've ever seen.
like we saw against Bo Nickel.
Yeah.
He fucking had him on his toes the entire fight.
Yeah, Paul Craig really gets after it.
He
So Ikram's got a loss to Robert Whittaker. I put that on par with having a loss to Paul Craig.
Because Paul Craig, he got that fight was just like world beater, fucking
Prime Silva.
Yeah.
Mixed with GSP.
You've never seen somebody fluid so fluid on that.
No, but Ikram coming off that loss to Robert Whittaker, which is not a bad loss. Talking about a former middleweight champion, the guy who's still atop the division. I think he got fraud checked a little bit. I think he had to got humbled, got back to the drawing board. He's fighting a guy Andre Muniz, which I just don't think is on his level. And I just see Ikram coming in and taking care of business. I'm going to take Ikram first round KO.
I'm taking Ikram as well. I think it's going to be a second round TKO. I think he's going to finish him. He's going to hit him quite a bit in the first round or two. He's going to fucking fall down. He's going to start beating the shit out of him. I just don't see too much in Muniz's game that is going to be able to exploit Ikram. So it's not even close to the same fighter as Robert Whittaker was. I have a feeling he's going to put him out.
I think this is Dana saying sorry for feeding Ikram to Robert Whittaker. Just feeding him the can, honestly.
Yeah, that's my thoughts.
Next up in the welterweight division, we got Randy Brown versus Nicholas Dalby. Nicholas Dalby, shorter guy, but he's got a puncher's chance in this fight. I mean, he's tough. He comes in, throws some combinations. Yeah. But Randy Brown, I just think is going to be too much for him. He's coming off 3 wins and a questionable loss to Ryan Battle. Fight that I think he won. He outstruck him.
Yeah, I remember that fight.
Yeah. He's got a really good jab, and with his size, he's going to be able to keep Nicholas Dalby at bay. He's looking for that jab overhand right, and I think he's going to find it. So I'm going to take Randy Brown by UB. Nicholas Dalby is going to get hit. He's going to get hit a lot, but I think he's tough enough to stand out. I think it's going to be big.
I'm sorry if the energy seems off in the fucking room right now. It's like 95 degrees in this fucking garage. But either way, like Randy Brown's just too good of a prospect, I think. I think they're feeding him a can. Not that he's Nicholas Dalby's that bad. It's just I feel like Randy Brown's been extremely impressive. Fights that he lost were against good prospects, and it's not like he's losing to cans. So I think he's going to move up the rankings with this one. I'm going first round knockout.
Next up in the middleweight division, we got Michel Pereira versus Magomedov, and Magomedov is going to make the match.
I think it's already been made. He's going to clean it up.
Abbas 2-2 in his last 4, but 2 losses that have aged pretty well. He lost to Sean Strickland shortly before he gained the middleweight title, and then he lost to Bahario fighting there. 19-0 in the UFC right now. I just think this guy looks bigger and stronger in every fight. It's almost like he's probably running something, running some trim, something.
It's a little cycle.
He's
casual.
He's casually cycling on and off. I hope he doesn't pop the PEDs, but it wouldn't surprise me. He can wrestle. He's got good top control. He's pretty measured. After that Strickland fight where he gassed out pretty hard in the first round, I think he changed that part of his game where he's going to let the fight come to him and then dominate in the way he sees how. Michel Pereira, though, he easily could win this fight, but he's got the exact opposite approach. He's going to come in, he's going to throw shots, he's going to do backflips on it, literally. Michel Pereira definitely has a chance to knock him out in the first round. If it goes past the first round, a bus is going to bust. I'm going to take a bus. I'm going to take a second round TKO. I think Michel's going to punch himself out.
I think Michel Pereira. Yeah, it's Michel Pereira. I think Michel Pereira is just not going to take this fight seriously enough. But he's going to go in there trying to do shit, and he's just going to get ran over. I don't really see this being too difficult of a fight for a bus. Yeah. But I don't see it being too difficult. I just think the approach is different. He's coming in here to win a fight, and Michel Pereira is trying to look cool. So it's like I feel like, at some point the skill level rises to where you can't do that shit anymore. And like you might pull something cool off every 3 or 4 fights to keep you in the UFC, but you're never really gonna be a contender.
No.
So I feel like this is the skill level where it starts to like, okay, you gotta actually fight a real fight. And I don't think he's gonna do that. I think he's gonna lose. I think it's gonna be a decision. I don't think he's gonna. I think he's gonna counter a lot of his fucking backfoot kicks and shit like that pretty easily. Just fucking walk away from him. And once it gets to later rounds, so I'm going Bucks.
A bus?
By decision.
Next fight in the featherweight division, we got David Onama versus Giga Chikadze. This fight, both these guys are stand-up strikers. I'm going to give the power edge to David Onama. I think he hits with more meaningful shots. He doesn't necessarily throw as much. I'm going to take David Onama to win this fight in the unanimous decision. I think Giga is going to outstrike him, but the more damaging shots and fight-ending shots are going to come from Onama.
Yeah. I think Giga's fun to watch. I think he's definitely going to have the volume on him. If he doesn't get knocked out, I personally think Giga wins. I think this is a decision for me. This is a 3-round the whole way. I'm giving it to Giga. I think David Onama's not going to be able to get in there and just one punch dot him. So I think Giga's going to outstrike him from range, and he's not going to gas. I think he's going to fight in a decision.
All right. Co-main event of the evening, light heavyweight fight between Anthony Lionheart Smith and Zhang Mingyang. Anthony Lionheart Smith, main event fighter, but he's got him in the co-main. Listen, we got a fight between a surging contender and Zhang Mingyang, coming off 3 straight KOs. He's a Chinese, and the Chinese are just fundamentally sound fighters.
Okay.
And when you put that Chris boxing, good defense, with the power that Zhang has, I mean, he's
going to get finished by Anthony in 1 round.
Listen, Anthony Smith has 1 win in his past, I think, 5 fights, and that's against Vitor Petrino. Vitor went in there like an idiot and just put himself right in the sun. I don't see Zhang and that style fighter doing that. I think he's going to knock Anthony Smith out in the 1st round.
Okay. Saying don't sleep on him. I mean, I'm not picking him. I'm not picking him.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I won't sleep on him. He's going to be sleeping Saturday.
Dude, don't post this. Don't add him to this. Oh, that was crazy. But no, Anthony Smith pulls out. The only fights he wins are ones that he shouldn't. But I guess that's kind of like I don't know, kind of a dumbass statement because he shouldn't win any of the fights in the UFC. Fights that they get
surging contenders.
Yeah, he just gets only surging contenders.
He's not a gatekeeper status. He's just strictly fraud checking.
Like, do you belong in Cage Warriors or do you belong in UFC? Which, no disrespect to Cage Warriors, but disrespect to Cage Warriors. I'm going Zhang Mingyang on this one. I'm going to say he's not going to get knocked out. I'm going to say this one's going to decision too. He's going to take a fucking shit ton of damage.
Yeah.
But that Lionheart of his, man, it's not going to let him go down. He's just going to keep losing the fight again.
He's going to consistently lose this fight.
Yeah. But he's going to lose it all the way through.
All right. Good for Lionheart.
All right.
All right. UFC Fight Night, Kansas City, main event.
Kansas City Chief.
Let's go, Chief! Ian Machado Garry versus Carlos Prates. This is a true 50-50 fight.
I don't think it is, personally.
Okay.
You go ahead. You give your analysis first.
Carlos Prates, part of the Fighting Nerds gym. Number one, I'll just say, sometimes in MMA, these gyms just take over, and they win all the titles until they lose them. Greg Jackson back in the day did it. Trevor Whitman did it with Usman, Gaethje, and Rose. And now it's fighting minutes time. In 19-0, their fighters look better each time they fight. And then for whatever game plan you think they're going to lose, or they have a chance of losing, they just dominate. Saw that with Gene Silva. Bryce Mitchell had no chance of taking it down. I don't think he ever even came close. And we're going to see the same thing against you, Machado Garry. Carlos Prates, obviously, I think he has way more power than Machado. Their kickboxing is very similar. And something he hasn't been able to show, Prates is for doing jiu-jitsu black belt. So if he gets to the ground, I have confidence in him being confident in the ground and on his back and winning scrambles. That being said, Machado Garry has had higher level opponents, obviously. Just had a 5-round with Shavkat. He did dominate MVP in grappling, someone that he thought could beat him in striking. When he saw that, he just said, whatever, I'll grapple.
Yeah.
He's got a chin. He can go 5 rounds. But for this fight, I'm just going to go with fighting nerds. I should have last week. I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Carlos Prates.
I think you're making a mistake. I don't know. I just don't feel like there's anything that Prates does other than just catching him that is going to be individually better than anyone that he's faced up to this point. I think Ian Garry is a very, very good defensive striker. He doesn't really let people touch him. That being said, he did have some trouble with Jeff Neal. So
he did go to war with Jeff Neal.
He did.
Decision.
He did. But Jeff Neal was a big dude at that weight class. He's a fucking tank, just actually can't fight. So I don't know. I think if Prates doesn't knock him out, I think he loses in a decision. And I think that's what's most likely going to happen. I think Ian Garry, it'll be close. It'll be a good fight. But I just don't see Ian Garry getting knocked out by him at least. So that's my take on it. Not that he's a bad fighter. I just don't see him being better than MVP striking and like being more difficult to handle on the ground than anyone who's fought so far. So
I think just his power is different. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but I don't know.
Ian Garry's shown the ability to get hit. He got hit by Shavkat, and he obviously got hit by Jeff Neal. Stay away from MVP, but MVP's unconventional striking. When it doesn't work, it doesn't work bad. So like when it works great. When it doesn't, it's really bad. I think Machado Garry showed that. Truly, I think this is a 50-50 fight. For the money, if you're betting, I'd take Carlos Prates by knockout just because it would be plus odds.
Yeah, I think it's close enough to be comfortable taking, to be honest. I just feel, I don't know, Ian Garry showed a lot to me.
The more complete fighter is Ian Garry. At least that's what we've seen. All right.
That's it.
That was UFC Fight Night Breakdown. Go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. Take our bets, and then win a bunch of money.
Comment how much money
Comment how much money you lost
in the comments.
in the comments.
I know that 0% of you are subscribed right now. So
First video.
any subscription helps.
Anything else.
Anything.
I have crippling debt from gambling, and that's why I'm starting this.
I've had credit card debt for the last 10 years, and we're in our buddies. Please fucking.
It's been deep water. Go drowning.